Okay, tonight I am painting a little bit of a light switch plate, like lilacs. And I'm just mixing a purple that I've made up with some white. And the paints I'm using are all, let's see if I can show this to you without spilling the paint. DIY paints, clay-based paints by Debi's Design Diary. And I'm just mixing up some purples and whites that I've mixed up. And this is the top of the light switch plate, and here's the bottom. I laid down a nice green first, the Farm Fresh. I've put it into a glass jar, but this is the beautiful color I used for the green, for the foliage behind. And I'm just adding some lilacs here in different shades of white and purple. The beauty of this clay-based paint is it adheres to just about anything. I do, because I offer these for sale, I do sand the switch plates and then prime them with primer first, and then I coat it with a black for the background because I think that looks really great when it's all top coated. And then I put the clay-based paint for the design on top for the design. Oops, dog hairs. It's always a dog hair. And I just love the way this clay-based paint looks. It's very matte right now because when the paint dries, I mean, it's clay, it's 80% clay. So it looks very much, it's a very matte paint to start with, you know, when it's just its natural self before it's top coated. It looks very, very matte because clay is like that. It's porcelain clay and other clays, and that just naturally has a very matte look to it. Just like if you had any clay that had dried, it would look like this, right? This brush is a little split, so I'm just covering up some of the split marks on these flowers. And some of them are okay, but it's kind of a lot of them right now. It looks a little out of focus because of that. I like this brush a lot, but I need to just not have quite so many split marks. So it looks a little bit matte right now because clay dries like that. But once you put the top coat on it, it looks very different. It looks really quite, depending on what kind of top coat you put. You could put a glossy top coat and it would look super glossy, and you can put a satin or a matte top coat. But at any rate, whatever top coat you put on, it will really bring the colors out in a very vibrant way, and it will look a lot less matte than it does right now. I will not top coat it tonight because I like to let that paint cure in place before I put a top coat on it. So I will finish the little painting tonight, but I will not top coat it till at least tomorrow, maybe even the next day. I love lilacs in the spring. I live in Vermont, and I grew up in New Hampshire mostly as a little girl, and lilacs are just such a beautiful flower. Here, purple lilacs and white lilacs both. They're just such a marker of spring around here. Dearly loved flowers in this part of the world, and they really are great pollinators too, and so they're just a dearly beloved flower here, and they grow like crazy everywhere around here. So they're just a beautiful, beautiful flower. We have purple ones and white ones here on our property, and I always love seeing them come out. it's fun too. It's very repetitive, but it's a really simple little flower to draw because they're tiny little flowers. So it's really just 3 or 4 little openings, 3 or 4 little petals. They aren't always all open, or all visible to the eye, so you don't have to paint all of them. Really, as an abstract artist, to give an impression of lilac is really pretty easy to do. I mean, as flowers go. It's very fun and relaxing, especially with the world as it is right now. It's a great, comforting flower to paint and to think about spring coming and how nature just keeps on making beautiful things, even if humans do ugly things. We still are given these beautiful flowers in the springtime, whether we've done anything to deserve them or not. And I appreciate that. Nature is a great comfort to all of us, I think. I haven't decided if I mean for these to really be in a vase or on a stem. Maybe I'll draw a stem so it's more clear that they're really on a stem. Sort of a lot of black background. There isn't usually black background with lilacs. Usually it's, a blue background or a green background, because it's usually either sky or grass. But black makes it, especially once we have the top coat on it, the black will make it really stand out. I'll show you, like, this is what my sunflower type of ones look like, and it really, when the top coat's on, it just makes it really pop. It'll look really great with the top coat on it. Paint's getting a little dry on my brush here. Always do some darker ones in there. In the background. And really, on a lilac, the darker ones are the unopened ones usually. They're the little, the bits like this here. I've got a few of these like this. They're the bits and bobs that haven't opened yet. That are waiting to open, but someone who isn't around a lot of lilacs wouldn't probably know what that is, but that's what that is. That's the unopened buds. And the promise of buds that have yet to open. In there just to fill up some of that background. Okay, and then we'll put a little bit on the sides, because when you have a light switch plate, you see it coming from the side too when you're in your house. I like to put some art on the side of the switch plate too, because when you're going from one room to the other, you're going to see that art. And I'm more of an abstract artist. I'm not trying to make this look exactly like lilacs, obviously. So I like to just give the impression of blossoms, just with some little dots back there, because you can't see all the blossoms when you look at a head of lilacs. There we go. There, that looks more abstract and more realistic, honestly. Okay. All right, and then we'll just get a little wee bit of this. Actually, let's use this little brush. Oh, not this brush. I'll use this nice brush with the. Might even have a longer one. Do I have a longer one? I think I do. Can I find it? Oh, there it is. There, that's the one I want. We'll use that nice longer one. A little bit of wet it first. And we'll just get a little bit of this nice stem, which of course I could have done first. And it probably would be a little bit more brown, but I'm not after. Again, I'm more of an abstract painter than a realistic painter, so it really could be orange for all I care. It's really just what do I like the look of the best. I'm really not trying to make realistic flowers. And we'll just do a couple of those. Yeah. There we go. There we go. A little bit of connective tissue there. There we go. That makes it look like it's not just two-dimensional. There we go. Now I wish I could make it dry fast enough to do the top coat for you. I can't really do that, but what I can do is I can scoot that to the side. Gently scoot that to the side. And we'll move to this guy here. And I'm going to put a little bit of this. Oh, that's all, way too much. A tiny bit of this purple dots. See if I can. One of the cool things that happens with some brushes that you don't really want, except when you do, is that sometimes this brush will kind of hollow out in the center. I don't know if you can see that, but it sort of hollows out in the center. And so when I put it down, it makes almost like a box. I don't know if it'll really work out here, but it sort of makes a little box, almost like a sunflower seed shell. And it only works sometimes. I have a different brush that works better, but it's too big for this. Anyway, it has to be a little bit dry for it to work. Yeah, and I guess it's not gonna work this time, but every day is different. Every moment is different with paint. It's not a repetition. It's not going to do what you want over and over. And here's the other one. I don't usually do multiples of the same thing. Typically, that's not my MO. But in this case, I'm repeating some of the patterns so that if people decide they want to buy more than one for their home so that they have a pattern that repeats, they can do that. And it makes sense. So now I'm going to take a little bit of the white and add it to that purple and lighten it just a little bit. This is a different purple than the one that's down there, than the base. And I'm just going to, God, another dog here. Oh, dog hairs. I love my dogs. Okay, now I'm just going to use the end of my paintbrush and put a few dots on there. Start with that. A little hard to get just what you want when the end of the paintbrush isn't actually pointed, it's round. But that's how that is. Start this way. Not really getting enough. There we go. This is going to seem really subtle, but every hint of different purple on here will make a difference. It would be kind of flat otherwise. This will give it a little bit of depth. Do a little bit on here too. Now, if you try this at home, let me just tell you that, I'm using plastic light switch plates, and even this paint, even clay paint by DIY Paint, which adheres to anything, is going to, it would adhere to it, but this is very slick. This kind of plastic is very slick when you first buy it on light switch plates. So I do sand them, but you've got to be careful of that dust when you sand something like this. That dust is, plastic dust. You do not want to be inhaling that. So if you do that at home, please wear a mask or don't do it at all. Really, it's not something good for your lungs at all, or for the planet, really. So I'm trying to find them where I don't have to sand them. And then I put down a really good bonding primer. And then after that, then I put down the clay paint. Okay, so again, these need to dry and this paint needs to cure before I can put the final coat of top coat on it. But to give you an idea, this is one that I've finished, and this is what it looks like when the top coat is on it. I've actually topped this off with a little more paint, so I have to top coat this too on these little edges here. But generally you can see that it does have a little bit of a gloss. This is a satin top coat on there. And I can show you a couple others. So I'm just going to move these a little bit to the side, and I'll show you a few of the other ones that I've made. So this is a very common, not common, this is probably my best-selling pattern because you expect to see daisies on a blue sky. That's the one that I made first, and that sells the most, I'd say. I also did it on a blue, on a green, which has gone really well. This is kind of a new color. I've had some yellow and then this different kinds of orangey, peachy, salmony kind of backgrounds, which also look great. And then I've also started doing some of these metallic ones. These have more gloss because of the way they're metallic paints. And these are more intricate. Right now, these are also still $29, but they're going to go up to $39 because there's so much more work than the more simple painted like daisies. But it gives you an idea of the kinds of switch plates I'm working with. And generally speaking, I carry the single switch and the double switch, like those and like these. But I also do other types and styles, like with different buttons and with all kinds of different ones if you ask for a custom switch plate. And I can do different designs than these two, but you know, these are the ones that I'm having as my standard, is the daisy and the sunflower. And then I've just started, tonight's the first night where I'm doing the lilacs. And then these metallic ones I really love, and I've sold all the others. These are the only two that remain right now. And I'm gonna definitely do more of those. And so right now, I think they're listed on my website, lisajohnsonarts.com. I don't know if they're on my Etsy site or not, but I do take orders from my website, so you can go there and let me know what you would like me to make for you. Thanks so much for stopping in.